Let's hit the record button, and I invite you guys to join me every day. Remember, I broadcast, or I start broadcasting at about 13:30 UTC. That's 1:30 in the afternoon UTC. UTC meaning time zone 0. So just figure out which time zone you're living in, and then you can figure it out for yourself what time you need to be online. And if you missed the live stream, it's not a big issue. I'm not angry at you at all. You can also always watch my videos on YouTube and on BitLink. The YouTube channel, you can find it very easily just by surfing to Wolves of Bybit and then scroll all the way down to the bottom. Those are the links to my social media network. So yeah, make use of that, guys. Subscribe, especially on YouTube, because this is where the main action is happening. And then again, if you want to join me in the Discord channel and you want to be part of the Wolf family, then just sign up using the affiliate link to Bybit, and this will waiver any kind of ideas of fees that all the other groups are using. And in order not to seem greedy, I also give back quite a piece of the affiliate revenue to the active traders in the group. So win-win situation there. After you did this, just send me an email with your user ID and the email address that you used, and then I will send you an invite to the Discord channel so we can chat 24/7 if you like. Cool. Well, all that set aside, let's move over to this crazy Bitcoin chart. Let's have a look and see what the prognosis is. Well, doctor, what do you think? Well, you know what? Let's dive in just in a minute. All right, just had a sip of coffee. I suggest for you guys to do so as well. Have some coffee, enjoy it. It's the nectar of the gods to me. I love my coffee. Well, I love my coffee and I love the Bitcoin chart as well. All things set aside, all jokes put aside. On the daily chart, the Bitcoin chart is looking rather extended, right? But looking at the RSI levels on a first glance, I'm not seeing any real long-term particular issues. And this is on the daily chart. Also over on the 12-hour chart, we can actually see that this growth, this massive stair-step growth, is also accompanied with a settings of higher highs on the RSI, which actually is a good thing. Yeah, what we don't want to see is a series of lower highs, followed by higher highs on the price section, because then the reaction could be quite hey, salam, how are you doing? A la femme, la Lisa. I'm sorry if I butcher your name, but yeah, no hard feelings, I hope. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing all right. So as I was saying, what we didn't want to see is actually a building of lower highs, especially 3 strikes of bearish divergence. That would be a bad thing. But right now, what we see is actually a very nice continuation pattern, except for this last part right here. Number one, what concerns me, and this is one of the things why I have been saying for a few days, like, guys, be careful, just don't bet the farm right now, because since RSI is already sitting at such high levels, eventually over time, RSI is going to have to start cooling down. And why? Why is that? It's not because this is a rule. It's just because a lot of other educated traders are looking at this pattern, and the more traders are starting to think like I do, that this helicopter here needs to leave. Just give me a minute, guys. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I have the windows open. I like to have my fresh air. Um, so, since more and more educated traders are going to start looking at this pattern, more and more people are going to start taking their profits. And what does that mean? That means just that people are setting some of their positions aside, waiting for retracement. And if enough people, if a large enough part of the ecosystem is doing so, then even more people will be doing so. So eventually, what I am expecting, or let's silently say what I am hoping for, is that eventually the price is going to start cool off a little bit, and that we are going to start seeing a little bit of sideways action where number one, we'll have some time to see and to judge and to measure the overall health of the market and to decide whether more continuation is going to happen or not, and at least have a good portion of our portfolio safe. Now, I'm not going to say that this is the moment to close everything and to go short all in, because this is too premature. Right now, basically, price could still find another pump to the upside. And this is what day trading is all about. So, if you will, guys, let's sit back and we are going to have a look at both possibilities, both options, so at least we can start figuring out some plans and start thinking about a strategy, how to hedge our position, how to make sure that we will not be losing no matter which way the train goes. All right? Cool. So first of all, I'm going to start deleting most of these boxes again because yeah, this chapter is closed, and I like to start from fresh so that you guys can see how I go over my analysis every time and time again, because I'm not going to be shouting any targets. All I want you to know and to understand is how to analyze this situation and how to make sure that you are ready for any kind of direction the market takes us. So let's delete all this. Well, before I delete the green line, have a look at how beautifully the green line lined up right now. So this is not voodoo magic. I don't have a crystal ball. All I do is analyze the charts, and then magic over magic, these things usually work out. How crazy is that? Now, okay, let's get started. Number one, that is actually pretty much concerning, and this is the 1 hour chart. This is why I think right now we could be expecting some sort of a correction. What do we see? We have a, holy moly, a series of bearish divergences right here. And if you can count it, 3 strikes, going for the fourth. So yeah, this is one thing that actually does not speak in favor of the bulls. So this one is concerning. And then on the other hand, we go over to the 12-hour chart, and the 12-hour chart has been also in a nice continuation pattern right here up until there. This here is actually the first sign of weakness. How can this be negated if and when the price action would be able to push the RSI to a higher high? But seeing as how this RSI level is already sitting at over 92, I think the ranges are going to be so massively big that, you know, if we look at probabilities, I think probability will be a little bit on the low side. So what do we need to see in order to get a new continuation? At least a formation of a bearish divergence with this area right here. And this corresponds to this area right here. Now, looking at the price difference, we're talking about a price difference of like more than 2x. this low is sitting at 16,000 while we are right now soaring at 38,000, more or less, give or take. So let's do a little bit of a magic calculation thingy using our reverse RSI calculator, and then we're gonna see where price could have a chance to start settling down. So let's get our box tool, because we're gonna be creating a new box area, and let's just do the magic calculation starting here. RSI is at 36, 37. Let's go with 37. There we go, and we find a potential area of bullishness coming in at 25,500. So let's mark this off. 25,005 Hunsky. I'm just going to use the coordinates because it's more accurate instead of just fiddling around here. All right, cool, beautiful. Now, this is one thing, and this is a longer term prognosis. Now, why do I want to look at the longer term? Just because we have a very, very healthy situation sitting up here. Now, I'm also going to have a quick look here at these levels just to make sure that that we find some of these areas actually corresponding and agreeing with each other. What do we see here? We have a little smudge of a bullish divergence, being such a small smudge. We could argue that this bull run, this little moonshot, has actually been a result of this, but being such a small difference on the RSI, maybe this is why it's not going stronger than that. But yeah, let's just measure it out. Let's see which is the low that we get off of this read. We got 6160. Let's go with 6160. Out of curiosity, I want to see where it would take us. So this one reads at 34,800. So potentially, I'm going to use a horizontal for this. Potentially, we could see a bounce right here on this area. And now if we zoom in, this is very interesting. This corresponds with this wick here. So yeah, do I do this on purpose, trying to make things line up? No, absolutely not. This is just what happens when you get strong reads. Usually you should see the different reads agree with each other. Okay, so this is an important level, I think, to keep our eyes on. Now let's move over to the shorter term. Let's go over to the 5-hour time frame, and let's do that same magic-y thing right here and see how far it does agree or disagree with us. And what do we have here? Yeah, let's go with 47 and a half. 47.20. Let's do 47.20. 47.2. This one reads a 33,200. So that's quite a bit lower, right? How are we gonna mark this off? You know, for now, I'm just gonna start by making a mess of this chart, and I'm going to set up a few horizontal lines, because I think this is also a strong area. Why is that, you ask? Just because here we encounter a resistance area, And right here on this wick, we have a support area. Support turning into resistance could be significant as well. Okay, so let's just mark it off and let's keep an eye on it as we go down the time frames. Let's do the 3-hour chart and let's see if the 3-hour chart agrees at least a little bit with this read. We got something like a 41.25. Let's do 41.20. 41.20. And this reads 3000 sharp. Okay, so more or less this area. I'm gonna stick with the 3300. Okay, beautiful. Keep in mind that finding the top and reading such an ongoing moonshot is one of the harder things in trading. Okay, so right here, because we are in full-on price discovery mode, it's very hard to go off of just horizontals and stuff because they don't have any history to go off of. You know, right here, the horizontals might come in handy, but more educated traders are going to be looking at a lot of other indicators, trying to get as much advantage over the market as they can. And this is also what you should be doing. Keep that in mind. Now, yeah, let's have a look. Okay, well, I'm sad to see that we don't have a lot of people in the chat. Well, you know, you just have to look at the replay once I posted it. All right, now let's go down to the 1-hour time frame. And this is where a lot of things are starting to come into picture, because the shorter time frame is only going to be speaking off of this situation right here, and I think this is where we are going to start to see the relevant areas come into the picture. So we have RSI level at 26. I'm going to zoom this in because I really want to have a clear read. 26.35. Let's do the 26.30. All right. So once again, a little bit lower, sitting at 32,600. And what happens if we read this one here? We get 37.50. 37.5. This would be 35,000. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to take a box. We're gonna put it in a box and lock it. Okay, awesome. So, as you can see, the box is actually split by those green lines here coming in from the higher time frames. Now, what does this say? These green time frames, I'm going to make them red so that we can avoid too much confusion. Red, and this one, I'm going to make this one orange. All right, so now we can see that this read here actually comes from the higher time frames from the lower area. This is where we took those reads from. So basically, as soon as price starts dipping down, let's say below those two time frames, we are going to get a massive bullish divergence even on the higher time frames, which is a good thing. Inside this orange box, we are talking about short to medium term. So, how should you read this? The orange box is actually the range where on a short term we can still expect a quick recovery or maybe even some sideways. Yeah. But, once we start dipping below the orange box, I would be expecting much more of a jagged situation with a lot of resistance and support coming in. So lots of time to wait and see if we are making a bullish divergence pattern, like maybe something like this, making a lower low on the RSI and a higher low on price action, or maybe the other way around, maybe seeing something go like this, where on the RSI level we do see a higher low being formed, and there is where, you know, oh, this is where you want to take a new position if you see the confirmation on the RSI level. Now, on the other hand, and this is just like always, the red box is the zone of big danger. This is why I like to make it red. Whoops. Because in this area, future is uncertain, especially I think if we dip below this massive volume node. This is where there is going to be so much resistance from the upside that chances could happen that we actually continue our run to the downside. Okay, so the red zone, really be careful about what you do, whether you take a position or not. I would really encourage you guys to be very careful and patient in this area. Right here, same thing, be a little bit of patience, keep your eyes open, but here you will be able to see whether it's a good sign on the lows, while here in the red zone, it's the highs that we're gonna have to focus on, especially if, for instance, we get like really oversold, oversold, and then eventually start making a higher high on the RSI while maintaining the lower high on the price action. This would be your signal that more and more continuation to the downside is going to start happening. Okay, so this for the downside. I hope you guys understand what we're doing here, and then let's just have a quick look at the upside. I don't think I'm gonna have to spend too much time on that because you know, it's we've already documented it a few times. Right here, right now, we could resolve this situation, and this would be a good thing because printing a higher high right here on the RSI, even on the 1 hour chart, would already show that there is enough strength for price action to just come down right here somewhere and then just accumulate and start going again. But all this depends right now on this situation here. Are we going to resolve this this potential bearish divergence? So we're going to look at the price action and the RSI over this level, and this should be sitting at about 73.4, 73.4, 73.8. Let's go with 73.5. 73.5. Beautiful. Now, this would be resolved at a price range of 38,750. Let's go with 750, just easy. And we are going to put a horizontal just like that. I think the range is too small to make it into a box. Let's double click like this, 750. Okay, and let's color it green or blue. Let's go with with green. Yeah. Of course, we need to close above the green line. Yeah. Just bouncing against it and rejecting would not be as good as actually closing above the green line. But overall, this whole situation is not looking too bearish just yet. This is why, I would strongly suggest at least take a little bit of profit. Price is going to at least in my, from what I would be guessing, price would be retracing at least a little bit. It could be anemic. It could be just a little bit, just to create right here a new bearish divergence, bullish divergence, and then just pick up again. Of course, the larger the correction, the more we see RSI cool down, the stronger the signal, the better it would be. What we really don't want to see is actually create a series of more higher highs while actually RSI keeps printing lower highs. This would be, of course, bad again. But yeah, there's no easy way around it. There's no cheap promises. There is no indicator that is going to tell you what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. But these are the tools that I give you guys so you can make your own analysis and figure this out by yourself. Now, just to make a long story short, I'm going to go over to the dollar because, yesterday I said the dollar was maybe going to be able to recover a little bit because it never broke out of the green box area right here. But what did I say? I said that these areas right here could potentially be a problem for the RSI levels and for a bearish divergence that could be forming. Now let's look at the closing of the candles, and as you can see, these candles have closed on a lower high while forming a higher high on the RSI level. Seeing how these lows are just a normal regular continuation, lower lows over lower lows, I do believe again that the dollar could still be correcting to the downside furthermore. Now, is this a good thing for Bitcoin? Well, honestly, I'm not so sure about this inverse correlation that has been going on for several months now, but yeah, it looks much more that like Bitcoin is starting to do its own thing. Of course, there might be some influence, there might be a little bit of influence making a stronger case for a nice recovery here in this orange zone, which would be a good thing in my book. But I would not bet the farm just on this inverse correlation. What is important to look at on another note is the E-mini futures, and E-mini futures right now is let's have a look. Let's see what is happening. What do we have? Let's go over to the higher time frames because the short time frames are just a big mess again. What do we see? Basically just continuation. Just straight up continuation. Maybe same thing as goes for Bitcoin. A little bit of cooling off, pulling back, allowing new buyers to come in. But on the overall health of the market, I see nothing worrisome. Nothing that is actually to be fearful of. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Potentially more continuation on the long term. On the short term, maybe a dip, but for now I would still see it as an opportunity to try and keep the party alive. The levels, what to look for. which are the areas of concern, especially below the orange box and for sure in the red box area right here. I hope you do have a paid subscription of TradingView, so you can also have this this volume profile, because on each and every of these levels, I do believe that those are the areas where you could, in normal, regular conditions, not this this bull run condition, all-time high stuff, but this is where you could start measuring off of horizontals and stuff, expecting some reaction on each and any of these levels. Of course, the lower you go, the stronger the reaction will be, or the more certain the reaction will be. But then again, if we really dip super low, then we enter an area of uncertainty, and the lower we go here, the more caution and patience I would advise on. Under the orange box, look for the lows, see if the lows are creating a bullish pattern. In the red area, wait for the highs and see if the highs are confirming a bearish pattern or just going slowly building up again. All right, so yeah, I will leave you with this, guys. I thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and remember, every day I do the broadcasts at 13:30 UTC, which is time zone 0. Do the calculations for yourself. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, because I do my announcements also for the live streams on YouTube, which which are pretty accurate. So like this, you will stay in the loop and know exactly when to tune in. So yeah, that will be it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Bye bye, guys.